Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. To my far right, I got my main man, KJ, Kevin Johnson, former corner, back for Clemson in 99 to 2002. And
That's
today's
right.
special guest, we got an SEC representative in the house,
Yeah, man.
to the SEC,
Oklahoma Sooner, baby.
12,
Yeah, big
Oklahoma
12.
Sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played a couple years ago. This guy went to Blinn College as well and played wide receiver. Y'all help me. Now he runs a fitness, facility.
That's right.
Working hard, training young athletes. Anybody that's looking for a coach, we got one right here for you tonight. Y'all help me welcome Mr. Kameel Jackson. What's going on, Kameel?
What's going on, my man? I can't
Yeah,
call it. I
my
appreciate
man.
you having me on, man.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Excited and appreciative of the opportunity for sure.
Oh, yeah, man.
No problem.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem,
Yeah.
KJ.
All right.
Well, the people that don't know you, let them know where you from, a little bit about your background.
Yep. So I'm from South Bend, Indiana, originally, so Notre Dame country. Um,
Whoa.
yeah, aside from Notre Dame, man, just an inner city. Grew up there. Uh, Close knit family with my mom, dad, and two brothers, one older, one younger. My younger brother didn't come around till later, 2001 to be exact. But yeah, man, just grew up in a real basketball family, and you know, grandma was Sunday school teacher, that kind of thing. So I would say just grew up with the right upbringing, and kind of backbone, structure and things like that I carried over later in life. But yeah, man, just as a kid in South Bend, sports, hide and go seek, climbing trees, catching lightning bugs, that kind of thing, man. Just was kind of straightforward childhood.
That's
So,
what's
man.
up, man.
So, good stuff, man. Hey, so what age you started playing sports? And what sport was your first love growing
Yep.
up?
I mean, so it was football for sure. Coming from South Bend and Indiana in general, it's a basketball town, but or a basketball
Yeah.
state, and Midwest is just really big on basketball. But I was always drawn to football. I really don't know why. Um, I can remember like my first football I got was a Purdue Boilermaker. Like football from Kmart, like nothing too crazy. Some little rubber, not even real, like
Oh,
leather.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Uh-huh.
it was black on one side and gold on the other side, man. So I would say that was around, maybe 6 to 7 years old. With me and my brother playing throw up tackle in the front yard, or just doing like
Hmm.
really light. We didn't know it was one on ones back then. We thought we were just somebody get a ball, and the other person got to catch him and tackle him. But we were doing kind of some open field tackling back then. You know what I'm saying, with one another.
So,
All right,
yeah.
cool. So growing up, anybody in your family inspire you to play sports as well? Like anybody close to you, or was it just a famous athlete?
I mean, I would say like the known athlete in my family at the time was my uncle AD. He played for Cincinnati, played basketball, um, and was known around the city as like the athlete or like one of the top athletes to come out of there. He went to Elite Eight, was on the same squad as Nick Vanexel. If you guys can remember that name, they played at Cincinnati together. And then
Uh-huh.
there were some times where a bunch of his buddies like Corey Blunt and even Nick Vanexel, they played for the Lakers at the time of us coming up. So I remember us
Hmm.
like going over there a couple times with those guys, and just kind of seeing like that athlete way of life a little bit. My uncle was kind of somebody who we didn't really know to be in the streets or to be, running wild or doing things just, you know, kind of outlandish or like the young kids call it now, like crashing out. He was just kind of always handling his business. So I
Hmm.
would say that kind of drove us. When I say us, me and my oldest brother, but drove me for the purposes of this interview and the podcast to go after sports a little bit. Yep.
That's
So,
good,
man.
man. That's good that your uncle set a good example. And I
Example.
think you came out the same class as Grant Hill and Nick Van Exel,
Yeah.
Jason Kidd, and those guys. Yeah,
Yep.
that
Yep.
was a tough era.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, man. Let's talk about the middle school level. What sport was your favorite on that level?
Yeah. So it stayed football, but like kind of when you in junior high, you go juggle between, you basically in athletics at that point, and if you're not in athletics, then you're like in PE, like walking the track, right? So In
Yeah.
junior high, that's when you go, you play football in the fall, you go run track in the winter, and then you do basketball in the
Mm-hmm.
spring, and at that time, I mean, I always liked football more just because it's just what I had always done in my spare time rather than like going to the park and go hooping. It was always like, let's go play throw up tackle, let's go play, football, like, and I like track a little bit, but nobody really back then that I can think of liked the idea of just running, right? Like it's a lot different now. Like people are like diving in. I'm like, no, I want to run track and get around this circle or this oval a little bit. But for me, it was just the thing to do because I was in athletics and I was fast, but nothing I really took too serious. In fact, I didn't even run my 8th grade year. I don't know what I did with that time, but I for sure didn't run track. So football for sure in junior high. Then I think that's the time. I wouldn't say I took it serious, but that's the time I knew like that was a sport that I loved. Like well, actually that would be elementary. I knew I loved it, but when I knew I wanted to like be good and hold my own and be looked at as someone who was really good, like that's when you start making A teams and B teams, and
Yeah.
God start to see what kind of level you on. Are you better than your peers or not? So I remember just wanting to make sure I was kind of etching my name as one of those better guys for back then.
Yeah. So what position you started out at?
So I started playing running back all the way through, man, through Pee Wee football. I was a running back, and I was like RB1. Like there was no games played. I'm like we run a split backfield, but the guy on the right side is like the full back. Um,
Yeah.
I'm like the two back, right? So I like at a 24 dives and 28 counters and 28 sweeps and all that stuff.
Sweeps. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
So
Uh-huh.
I started
Hit
off as a
that
running.
corner and go. Yeah.
Yeah, turn that in that corner and go, right?
Oh
And then
yeah.
at some point through, man, I got really tall. I didn't get really tall, but I hit a growth spurt that kind of set me a little higher than my peers. That
Mm.
summer going into 8th grade, and then the next thing I know, I was just playing receiver in 8th grade, and I didn't mind it. I mean, it was an adjustment, but it was something I kind of loved to start doing. Our
Mm-hmm.
school colors at the time were purple and gold, and I was wearing number 84, so I was trying to be a little Randy Moss out there. And
Oh yeah. So
yeah, so that's when I made the switch to receiver from running back in 8th grade. Yep.
All right, cool. So, what position did your brother play? How many years y'all were apart?
So we actually 11 months apart, man. So we Irish twins, right? Like mom and dad moved pretty fast. So we'd be the same age for a month or a little less than a month. My birthday is March 8th. His is April 4th. So we grew up really close. And he played receiver as well. He played receiver his whole life. Like that slot position. The most that he did from a running back position was like a wing back kind of thing, to where he would kind of be snug close, like to the tackle and the
Hmm.
receiver stance, and then go like do some sweeps or some reverses and stuff like that. Jet sweeps, I mean, and then some reverses and
Gotcha.
whatnot.
Yep.
all right. Let's talk about your first year in high school. Did you play right away?
Yeah, 100%. So I say 100%, not nothing cocky, but I mean, just like what I was going after was, man, I wanted to play right away. That's when I can remember watching high school game time on like the news when they like highlighted high school guys, right? And I remember being in 8th grade and thinking like, man, I can't wait to get to high school. And even when I was in 8th grade, my brother was a freshman, and that's when I found out that, well, you're a freshman, they're not gonna put you on like on the news. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really
Okay.
understand the concept of like, oh, there's varsity and JV and then the freshman team. But my freshman year, I played right away, and I actually got hurt like freshman camp. So before the season started, we were scrimmaging the JV team, my brother's team, and I jumped up. I was playing safety at the time as well. You play both sides of the ball.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump up and I catch me an interception, man, and the receiver was like underneath me at the time. He didn't try to undercut me, but I fell and I fractured my collarbone. So I was out for like the first 6 games of my freshman year. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, then I came back the first game, and I mean, it was like, I want to say I scored like 2 or 3 touchdowns against DeSoto, and they were always known as a good school then. Like, so just kind of stayed productive. Like, what I had like 4 games left my freshman year, then it was kind of on the popping from there.
So
Okay. Who was like the competition? What conference were you guys? Were you 4A or 5A?
Yeah, so we were 5A. I mean, that's when, like I said, we were playing, DeSoto, uh, Cedar Hill, Euless Trinity, like those guys. So our team wasn't very good. I don't ever remember us being good when I was there. Our glory days at Sam Houston High School were, um, I want to say, like very early 2000s and late 90s. But like we lost our head coach because he had so much success, and then we were in a rebuild, and then um, yeah, we weren't competing much with those other teams, but we did get a chance to play against them though.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Playing high school football. How far y'all go in the playoffs? Do y'all win any rings? Your time there?
KJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I mean, his camera must have froze. Oh,
Okay.
here he is.
Yeah, is that me on my end?
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah.
Yep.
My apologies.
Oh,
I game a lot on this internet, so I was thinking I'd be good.
it sounds good. Yeah, I was just talking about the playoffs. How far do y'all go playing high school football?
Oh man, you gonna make me put a knife out of my heart on this one, man. We never we never made the playoffs. And
Oh.
I was on varsity all 3 years from sophomore, junior and senior, and we never made the playoffs, man. That was one of the things that it kind of hurt because our season always ended early. Then you got guys that are playing that you feel like are not as talented as you, but then as a core and as a team and
Hmm.
program, coaching staff, and tradition, or just the way that they buy in, you know, um, they gonna make it rounds deep. So man, unfortunately, I never got a chance to play in Texas high school football playoffs, and it's crazy because like my best friend Jamal Turner, he played quarterback and he went to Nebraska, and then we had two offensive linemen who were twins and they went to Texas Tech, and my brother went to A&M Commerce. We had another receiver go to Hardin Simmons. I mean, so we had some guys, but man, on the defense side of football, we couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was bad. All of our games were shootouts. If a team stopped us, 2 to 3 times on offense, they probably were going to win the game because our defense just wasn't stopping guys, and we didn't have the numbers. We didn't have the depth in numbers um, to where like we could just have guys rotating in. So me and my brother we would alternate series at cornerback, and then sometimes our quarterback would go play safety. You're talking about 5A football, right? Because the school is big, but guys are
Hmm.
just not coming out for the football team. And it's probably because of lack of success or just coaching
Yeah.
culture, maybe at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yep.
Uh, your senior year, I guess you put up numbers. When did the recruits start coming in, sending you letters? When did you know that, hey, it's something I can do at the next level?
Yeah. So that was my sophomore year. So Tulsa was my first offer, and they came out. They came and watched me do 7-on-7. They came out. I don't know who they were watching, but they came out freshman year, going into my that freshman summer, going into my sophomore year, and they watched us play, 7-on-7 as a team, like going against each other, right? And they gave me a verbal offer then. So my first verbal offer came right before my sophomore year, and then obviously everything at that point was verbal. But I was getting recruited, like the mail started coming in after sophomore year.
Hmm.
I don't know this number because it's so long ago. I don't remember too long horn because it's just so long ago. But I remember seeing the number a bunch. But it's 783 receiving yards my sophomore year, um, and I want to say maybe like 9 touchdowns. So they would come knocking with those numbers, and then I just had the size. Thank God, you know what I'm saying. So
Hmm.
a bunch of recruitment took off after my sophomore year, during sophomore year, where people started, the mailbox looking a little full, and that's when it became reality to me. Like, like, oh, this is something that, we can do for real.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Hey, so hey, what was your reason for playing for the Oklahoma Sooners?
Honestly, I'm gonna say it was a few different things. So Mark Clayton, if y'all remember that name, who played for the
Yeah,
Ravens,
yeah,
Oh
he
yeah.
went to Yeah, he went to my high school. He had all the records. Well, he had a few records. It was actually a
Nice.
receiver that would
Wide
probably
receiver.
be a little better than him. But Mark Clayton was one of those guys, and he went to Oklahoma, and he had photos, and I would play with him on Madden and whatnot. So that was a thing to where I kind of wanted to not just follow in his footsteps, but try to see if I could kind of do that same path, I guess, and then outdo him in a sense, and with all much respect to MC because we have a good relationship now. Um, and then, man, Oklahoma was just on top then. It was the Bob Stoops era.
There you
You
go.
turn on NCAA and they ranked number one, and
Mhm.
they showed me a lot of love, like in the recruiting process. And I would say the biggest thing of why I committed there was because of my receiver coach Jay Norvell at the time, who's now the head guy at Colorado State. But just a players coach. If you could, I'm not sure if you had many players coaches, KJ, but when you got a players coach and you're in his meeting room and y'all connect on a level that's outside of football, and just feel like that someone has like their best interest at heart, and
Mhm.
you kind of see them like with their kids and their family, and then like how he would interact with my parents. Like it just felt like a good fit, and obviously Oklahoma sent a ton of guys to the league at the time, so that's why I chose to head up to Norman.
All right.
Okay.
Word.
So you get to Norman. I mean, you've been watching Oklahoma win. Before you get there, you just said that you used to play with Mark Clayton. Talk about that era of football in the Big 12. Who was the competition in that conference back when
Yeah, I
you
mean,
played?
yeah. So like you saying like who I played with on my team, or just who we went against?
Yeah, like who was the competition in that conference during your era?
Yeah, I mean, so for sure Texas, right?
RG3.
Huh?
RG3, I think one of them, right?
Yeah. So Texas for sure. Like at the time, like like Mike Davis was at Texas out of Skyline, and then I mean, he beat me to it with RG3. That we literally handed him the Heisman that year, but that was somebody like I never was a guy who get like star studded. Besides, like when I met Ryan Broyles, who was a Sooner as well, because I kind of just looked up to him. But when I watched RG3 play in person, what I would call in his prime, um, man, it was just special. It was electrifying, man. Watching that, that one arm sleeve and him holding the ball, like take off and just kind of make nothing out of something. It was like I guess it was like guys who go watch Mike Vick in person back then.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
we had guys like we played against like Justin Blackman, who obviously his NFL career,
Wide
did what
receiver,
he did, but
Mm-hmm.
he was somebody that was really good. Um,
Oklahoma State.
yeah, Okie State. But then Texas had like dudes. I want to say like Jackson Shipley, who was my same grade, but he was one of those Shipley brothers who just kind of had the legacy behind him. And I mean, he was just like I give him his credit, which I don't like giving guys like too much credit. Who am I saying like class and all that? But I gotta give credit where it's due. He was a guy for sure. Like, excuse me. Yeah, but definitely Texas, and then Johnny was over there at A&M. You know, so they did their thing. That was that next year, but just watching, we played together in an All Star game, me and Johnny, high school All Star game. So I kind of kept up with him and knew what he could do before a lot of people did on the national stage. But yep.
All right.
Okay,
Hey,
all right.
let's talk about your first start with the Oklahoma Sooners. What was it like walking out there on the field, looking at the crowd, and it looked like you finally made it?
Yeah. I mean, so that was definitely like you see a smile on my face, like that was crazy. Like
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
you go from scattered and spotty bleachers to going to go see 85,000 at the time.
Yeah. Nice.
It's up to 100K now, so I'm not. But it was 85 then, and
Yeah.
it was just crazy. I mean, you hear the crowd, the chants. You really kind of. I had been to some football games, obviously on like visits and whatnot, but just to be a part of the stadium and hear it rocking from when you're down there in the tunnel, or actually when you're in the locker room still, and you hearing all this stuff go on. Um, yeah, just electrifying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really proud of myself, what I'm saying, at the time, just from overcoming whatever I had to in life to get to that point.
Yes, right.
Yeah, just being happy with the work that I had put in to get there. and obviously like being a freshman, so I started 9 games with the two freshmen, and
Man, nice.
yeah, and I didn't really get comfortable. I mean, I didn't get comfortable probably until the shit third, fourth start maybe. So being nervous a lot, you're looking over there at some of the vets like, yeah, what's the play, bro? I don't know what the play is. Like
Yeah,
I'm just out here, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But it
yeah.
was
Because
fun.
mhm. Yeah, everything's so fast. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah, yep, everything's so fast. And one thing that guys don't really talk about a lot is like when you're on the opposite side of the field and they're giving signals and you like, man, I don't even know what he's throwing up over there. Like, like I don't know what I'm looking at. It's a bunch of stuff going on over there. So you just go out there and run a go ball. So you just hit kind of in a safe space.
yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
All right. Well, I got some highlights. We can go ahead and get into it. For everybody that's watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Got from Oklahoma receiver Kameel Jackson. Also played for Blinn College, the Buccaneers. We don't own the rights to this clip. Stay with us, Kameel. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Jones likely changing the play. Has time and throws, caught, first down. Kameel Jackson again, true freshman from Arlington, Texas, who has been getting much more playing time with the injury to Broyles and now to Reynolds.
The whole thing starts because they're able to protect, giving him time, and when this guy has time to throw, he can carve you up. He's playing a zone back there, and with that time, you were able to find the holes in that.
Did their convention.
Yeah, running
All
that deep
right.
curl route right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a little dig. Probably ran that nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, but you caught the ball, man. So that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
100%, bro.
for sure.
100%.
Did you guys get the victory in that game?
Yeah, we
What do you
did.
remember the most about that game?
Man, honestly, like my family was there. That was our bowl game, so it was that last game, and it was unfortunately my last game in Oklahoma. And
Okay.
yeah, and it was just man, I led the team in receiving yards and receptions. Was poised for a huge sophomore season, but just that bowl game was like it was something different, and I honestly I enjoyed it a bunch. Um, but it was funny about it is, so I enjoyed it a bunch. The bowl gifts, right? We were in Tempe, Arizona. It was nice. I mean, they roll out the red carpet for you, and then my family travels down and whatnot. But man, the when I say that, back then if you weren't playing in the BCS Bowl and you were Oklahoma, it was like, I mean, guys didn't even want to get up for the game. They was like, "What we doing here?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the Tostitos Fiesta, it's not the Rose Bowl, it's not the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. So that was kind of like a known thing where guys really weren't too excited to play. Now, obviously, they want to not take things for granted or snaps for granted because you don't know when your last one is. But I can remember like how excited I was, and like they like, man, pipe down. This ain't where we want to really be playing at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yep,
For
yep.
sure. Yeah. Hey, what was it like playing at Oklahoma State? Ain't that your rival, the rival game?
Yeah. Belgium. I mean, it was a good one, man. It definitely lives up to the hype. Like, a lot of people talk about like Texas and Oklahoma, and it is like it's one of those ones for sure. But I think like that the Okie State game is definitely like underestimated because what makes the Texas game so like unique is really just like how they split up the Cotton Bowl, where it's like everybody wearing red on this side, everybody wearing orange on this side, but it's still like 50-50 split like on like the crowd level and crowd noise. So you don't really get like, you know,
Nice.
I would much rather play Texas going into Texas and then feeling how that rivalry feels when you got all their fans over there and we only got 20% of the tickets. You know what I'm saying? So for
Okay.
Oklahoma State, it's like, man, the stadium, the bleachers are like, I mean, you turn around right here and it's like the sideline is so small that they're literally right here. Like you hear everything that everybody's saying to you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's not. And then they set it up to where like your fans are not right there next to your bench or right behind you. So yeah, that game is crazy, man. And I think it's a lot more like I hate to say hate, but for sports purposes, it's a lot more hate in that game than I think like Texas, Oklahoma, which hopefully nobody try to out me for that. But yeah, it's a lot of like I think that game is more like embedded in rivalry than Oklahoma, Texas, in my opinion.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Yep.
So talk about how you ended up at Blinn College, Buccaneers. How did you end up playing there?
Yep.
Right.
So when I left Oklahoma due to like me just really being an immature freshman, man. After my great freshman campaign or good freshman campaign, not to overdo it, um, that second semester, I was like, man, which class? Like, I'm not going to any class. Like, I'm finna go to the league. I'm finna play 2 more seasons, and I'm NFL bound. I probably just skip out on the degree. But you know how it is, KJ. You got the class checkers and whatnot. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so they tell me, I missed so many classes that second semester that they tell me that I'm going to be suspended for 8 games my sophomore season. So I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, just red shirt me. Like, I just take a whole red
Can't
shirt
wait.
year. And then Coach Stoops was like, "Nah, we're not gonna do that." And it really came down to the president at the time, President Bourne. He didn't want to give me a red shirt. He kind of wanted to make me face those consequences. Take them right on the chin. So I was like, I'm just gonna transfer. Thought I was gonna go to A&M. That didn't work out, so I ended up going to ULM where my brother was at. He ended up transferring from A&M Commerce and going to ULM, Louisiana Monroe. So I go there for a semester. And I'm still not taking care of my business in the classroom. I just want to kind of focus on football, which is again immature and highly not recommended. Um, so the coaches like, hey, Kameel, um, we have to take you off scholarship for a semester, but we'll put you back on in the summer. Well, I really didn't even like being at ULM. I just feel like I had worked so hard to get to, a 5-star prestigious program, and then
Yep.
at ULM it's like, man, the locker room looks like just night and day. I'm just going, not to downplay ULM. It's just night and day. And I'm really not happy there. Um, so I told the coach, I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just go ahead and go junior college and then like kind of reshuffle my deck of cards. So I leave and I go to Blinn, and that's how I ended up there. And, kind of got refocused, man, at that time. Started FCA on campus there. Um, just feeling like the only thing that I really wasn't applying to my life aside from like being studious was a lot of Christ, and giving me like some guidance and things to lean on. Um, so I knew something had to change. So yeah, Blinn was a healthy destination for me for sure, and that's how I ended up there.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
So after Blinn College, what was next for you? Did you try to go to the NFL draft or combine? Did you have a pro day at your school?
Yeah, so right, I mean, directly after Blinn, I was committed to Tennessee. I had a ton of offers out of Blinn, and I committed to Tennessee, and then something happened. And I still don't know today, like what happened with a class or something I didn't take. I don't know, but I graduated with my associates, but I couldn't accept a Division I scholarship, and I truly don't know why. So I go D2 to Grand Valley State. And it's up near South Bend, Indiana, a little close to home. So I go up there, figure out just play there. They were a prestigious Division II program. Um, I played there. I don't really have much success. I'm not performing how I really like kind of expected to. I'm in that pro style offense to where I'm on the field and I'm off the field and we going heavy set and a bunch of 11 and 21 is just I'm thinking I don't know what I was really thinking, but I should look into more of a spread offense. What I was kind of used to. But from there, I have my at the time my high school sweetheart. She's pregnant and she's expecting twins. So that's my junior year, and I leave school early my junior year, and then I just started. Man, I don't even go do my pro day. I just immediately like went to some CFL tryouts. I was like, you know what? I'll do CFL tryouts. They're paying 50,000 one year, 52 for the next. I'll just try my hand at that. And actually, long story about that, but I made a team in Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I ended up getting cut right after camp, and then from there, I mean, that's where my professional career or endeavors, end at. Um, and yep, came back home. That was 2014, and I come back home to Dallas, and I started training speed and agility at the same gym that I used to train at with like my mentor. So he brought me on to kind of start helping him out, and that was 2014.
Yeah.
Oh, and one question, like throughout that whole process, did you ever reach out to Clayton and see if he had any other situations for you that you could have like maximized with like a better program
No,
with the
I didn't.
offense?
I didn't, man. At the time, it's funny because now, like, I'll use like, just me. I'm 32, right? So now I better
Yeah,
be using like my resources and contacts if I need to. But at the time, nah, man, I was just trying to navigate things like on my own, right? Like then, like, me and my brother both were like the, like when you're the first person in your immediate family to do something, like, and I'm not
yeah,
saying my uncle played basketball, but his path was still a lot different, right? But
yeah.
like, for my parents, me and my brother, like we were the first ones. Like my parents didn't necessarily go on with scholarships to play sports or anything like that at the college level. So we were all kind of figuring out things like together. So yeah, we were. I didn't call on anybody at that time. I didn't know Mark Clayton at the time. Um, me and Coach Stoops had like bad blood. Um, which I would later like reconcile that relationship with him when he took over with the Arlington Renegades. Um, like 5 years later, which is crazy. But yeah, no, I didn't reach out to anyone, man. I just kind of, just went with the flow.
All right.
All right. Okay, man. And so now you're a professional wide receiver coach. What do you enjoy the most about doing about that?
Man, I think just man, not to be cliche, but just pouring into kids and pouring into athletes that are that are trying to take it to certain places. Um, really passionate about it. I get to be myself. I get to as a player, you hit the football field and, everything else, like for at least that, those 23 periods of practice would like go away. You know what I'm saying? You could have anything almost on your mind, then all that stuff go away when you out there. And it's the same for me, no matter what's going on around me, in air quotes, real life, when I'm on the field,
Mhm.
nothing else matters. And I give myself up to that purpose of just training those guys, whether it be receivers, or any athlete I'm working with, basketball players, bull riders, bullfighters, whatever. Um, man, I'm just zoned in on it. So that's what I like most. I had described it before, like that scene on Biker Boys, like when he would be on the track and then they like kind of warp down, like just that tunnel vision and nothing else on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same feeling for me out there. Like I really don't see nothing else but just training out there.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, I got
Now I
a
see.
clip I want to show everybody.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, KJ.
Go ahead. Ken. Are
All
you
right.
good? Go
Well,
ahead.
I got a clip I want to share everybody. For the people that's watching, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We got from Oklahoma wide receiver Kameel Jackson, and he also went to Blinn College. We appreciate him coming on the show tonight. Also, he has his own fitness facility that he train out of. We can get his contact information before we leave tonight. In case you're in the area, you want to contact him. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and get in this clip. We do not own the rights to it. Stay with us, Kamal.
This is Coach Schumann here for NUC Live, announcing the third player of our NUC All-World Gridiron Classic game that will be accepted, as well as obviously invited to play in the game. His name is Kameel Jackson from Arlington Sam Houston High School, a wide receiver who was dominant in our camps, both as a wide receiver and as a defensive back safety at our camps, our NUC events, as well as our Ultimate 100 and Top Prospect camps. He's an athlete that has a 4.4 40-yard dash, as well as a 35-inch plus vertical jump. He's an athlete that has tremendous body control, tremendously crisp route running, and spectacular hands. He has the ability to make a play anywhere in the field, as well as to outrun athletes and get away from them to score a big, long touchdown. He's committed currently to the University of Oklahoma, and he's a type of player that can make or break any game at the high school level and as well at the next level from a college standpoint. Kameel was our top prospect 09 wide receiver MVP. This year, he was our Ultimate 100 Camp Dodie Donnell Award winner, excelling both as wide receiver and defensive back in the Southwest region, and he was our overall MVP. He's accumulated 2 of those awards at our local regional NUC events. His game film is unbelievable, with him making plays all over the field, outrunning players, jumping over players, as well as making great catches with his tremendous ball skills. He has one of the top game films that is out there for Arlington Sam Houston High School. Our third NUC All-World Game acceptance, Kameel Jackson.
Yes, sir. That was right before you went to Oklahoma. Talk about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, man, I'm extremely grateful for that NUC like camp scene. Man, it was something that like it was a bunch of like Nike camps weren't that big just yet. There was a few of them out there, but nothing like now. Even like with the Under Armour camps. So just going out to the NUC camps was something I love to do. Just love to go out and compete, man. Anytime you would line up, you finna have hundreds of people out here, or 100 other athletes, and 99 other athletes out here, and a handful of corners and receivers from the area or guys driving up. I'm gonna want to go out there and compete every time. So that kind of that was something that was crazy. Is I would ride there. My parents never took me to one of those camps, and it's not because they were like too busy or anything like that. We were just like, I'm like, hey mom, I'm finna like go do this camp. I'm gonna ride with my homeboy, and then he'll pull up on me, my homeboy Eddie. I know we're gonna wait for shout outs, but shout out to Eddie. We'd be piled up in his Buick Regal, and man, he'd be driving and swerving all over the place. And I was gonna tell them boys like, man, I'm finna go out here and go get this trophy right quick. I'm finna go put on, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna go represent. And man, they took me all of them. And it was a fun experience, man. That's when really a lot of people in the area, if you didn't get a chance to see me, Friday night, you got a chance to, experience me or go against me then. And you know how it is when you kind of highly recruited, you got a target on your back at those places, man. Like somebody gonna make a name off of you just by me. Shit, hopefully it's not a bad ball, because like anybody for a reason to say, man, I locked him up or I did this. So I never let it happen. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I kept going back. I'm a relationship guy. Like I feel like that, people make the world go round. A lot of people say money does, but I feel like people make the world go round, and relationships that you build will take you further than sometimes your own talent. It's not to say that you use people, but if you could be an asset, and you have in your heart to give as much as someone wants to have you receive, then I feel like that's fair game, and you're in alignment with the same thing. So Coach Schumann, I knew at the time that NUC wasn't like this big thing. I mean, and he was one of the pioneers in doing it, but I always wanted to just keep going back. Even when he talks about it in that video and another one where he says like he's already committed to Oklahoma, but he still comes out here and competes. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I always want to show up for that camp, because before I had all of that stuff, before I was committed, anything, and it's not like they pay any fees for me. I have to still pay to get in, but I just feel like I wanted to assert myself into that camp and let it be known that some top guys can come here and do what they need to do. So, yep.
Hey, talk about getting the opportunity to train your daughter. I watched a couple clips on Instagram, and you're doing a real good job with her. How's that? I know you got to be a proud father.
Yeah, not 100%, man. So I got 3 other kids too, but yeah, she's the athlete that I have my hands on the most. Just being transparent. 2 of my older kids don't live with me, and my youngest 2 do. And but my youngest daughter Cameron, man, she's since she was 3, we started training, just doing things with the soccer ball. That was the only thing that we would do is soccer and what I call early plyometrics, which is her just jumping over cones and zigzagging, running through cones, seeing these visual cues and color cues, right? And kind of using that to build reactions and whatnot. But to see where she's taking her attributes and skills set now, she just turned 7 2 weeks ago. So to see where she's at now based on the work that we've been putting in, I'm definitely proud of her. And it's something that, you can try to instill and train a child up in the way that they should go, right? And blah, blah, blah. but I feel like that she took it like really well to where if I ask her now, like, hey, Cam, do you want to train or like do you want to like, go home and like and not train? She'll tell me something like, she'll tell me something like, I want to go home, but I also want to train because I want to be the best. But when I go home, like, just know I'm home, like I'm chilling, like I ain't training, I ain't doing nothing else. Like I want to watch this, I want to watch that. So I mean, shit, yeah, I'm definitely proud of her, man. And then it's funny because she's out of all the athletes that I've trained, which I've had like a great deal of athletes, right? I've trained a couple of NFL guys that I've like been training since junior high, and now they're in the NFL. And it's just like she's my most like dominant or like most watched athlete. It's just unique that like she's becoming like the face of my brand. I always want to be the face of my brand. So now my little face is on something that are like almost becoming the face of my brand. And looked at as a blueprint for a bunch of people. So, yeah, definitely proud of her, and it looks like that she's gonna. I'm like I be calling myself an amateur comedian. I like just because so I can make a little joke. But she's probably gonna put some money in my pockets here soon. I mean, she's just bringing me like opportunities. She getting equipment and packages sitting here to the house and whatnot. People are calling to put her in reels, like to use like $1,000 equipment. You know what I'm saying? And then they have one she's in the reel with it and stuff like that. So you're definitely proud of her, man.
Yeah. Hey, is there any female professional athlete she looking up to now? That's an inspiration to her.
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, if you ask her like about any athlete, she wouldn't know who to name. I mean, she'll probably try to name. So when we first like started watching tennis, like we watched King Richard first, and then when I watched that movie, I was like, based on her skill set and some of her early attributes, like she may be good in tennis. So she may try to mention like Venus or Serena, but she don't even know who they are. Like she might just try to say, "What's that one girl from the movie?" But I just always felt like
okay.
Yeah, she watching Disney. She ain't really watching too much unless we like, Cam, let's watch this tennis match. But she could care less, like, who's up there. She don't. And then just to be honest, I didn't want her to be like glorifying anybody, not for like because she's supposed to be so great, but just like you gonna be watching Sha'Carri Richardson like for what? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be watching her like, I don't know, it's just like they gotta get up and get it just like you too. And it's just something I'm trying to do different to where later in life I'm sure she'll have someone that she'll say, oh yeah, I like watching this person, but
most definitely.
Right now she only care about them skins on Fortnite, man, on TV.
Okay. All right.
Well, I got some clips of it right here. For everybody that's watching, we don't own the rights to this clip. We got a little video of his daughter doing workouts. Stay with us, Kameel. Be right back.
Yeah.
Push. Good, push. Good.
All right.
Yeah, ready for success.
Yep.
Tell you.
Yes, so, man, you training out professional athletes as well. If people want to get in contact to you and they want to, join your facility, what do they have to do?
Man, the best way is just hit me up on Instagram, _ Slide House, one word, SLIDEHOSUE. And then on Facebook, they'll see a bunch of pages for Kameel Jackson because as in my younger days, I was forgetting passwords and whatnot. But that main one, you probably shouldn't be able to miss it. I think they put it at the top now, but Kameel Jackson on Facebook, yep. And those are the two best ways to get in contact with me.
All right. Hey, do you have a message for someone that's dealing with mental health problems?
Man, for sure. Man, the first thing I would say is, if you can find someone to talk to, definitely. It's tough now. I say tough now, but it can be tough because you want to feel like that you're speaking to someone in a safe space or safe environment, someone who won't judge you or look at you different based on what you feel like that you're going through. you know, and so I would encourage those guys to find um, uh, a mentor in the sense, or someone who's you know, maybe not your peer, right,
Yeah.
but someone who probably help you navigate through it a little bit more, not just kind of sharing stories or experiences to lean on each other, but someone who probably has went through that, still is going through it, but has more of a structure, discipline to overcome it, you know. And then, you know, I feel like anybody can feel like that they're alone at any given time, or you know, life be
Yeah.
life, right? So, you know, you can feel like that life got you by the neck a little bit, and you know, my message is to anyone going through that you can overcome it. You know, you're enough. You know, uh, you matter. Um, and then I won't, you know, like project too much like religious views, because I was trying to be politically correct for anybody out there, I guess. But you know, find something or someone to believe in and talk to, and a lot of times that may be someone that you can't see physically. Um,
Mhm.
you know, that would be my message
Yeah, for sure,
So,
man.
do you have any message to the youth?
for the youth.
Yeah.
Man, yeah,
Yeah, it's different now, man.
it's different. You know, you know, it's funny. Like, so for the youth, like, you know, a lot of things for you guys are more accessible than they were to us, right? Like when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking about getting no money. You know, I wasn't thinking about like what this person really had, and I was keeping really at money. Like nowadays, you know, kids want to be having money, right? They want to be doing stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Living.
they're starting things a lot earlier than what we did. You know, I think we had more of our childhood for longer. You know, even growing up, we grew up a lot harder than a lot of these kids, but we
Yep.
still have our youth and our childhood and our innocence a lot longer. So, you know, I wouldn't rush into going after things that are going to be there forever. You know, social media and the internet, you know, isn't a real place. You know, no one's really like posting their failures or posting like what they're going through in a negative way, or things that may be affecting them in a negative way. And that's not to say that something is wrong with that person. They maybe just don't want to display that and would rather show positive sides of life. Um,
Mhm.
but let it be a reminder that everyone is battling something. So, you know, just stay like kind of like, I guess, humble, and yeah, I mean, and then like don't be out here doing like crazy, like, you know, these youth. I referenced it earlier, like guys crashing out, right? And they kind of
That's enough.
Yeah.
glorifying certain things that we didn't. You know, there's like no more OGs left who tell you like certain things, right? Or the OGs now are like the 17-year-olds and like early 20-year-olds.
They don't know nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, man, is, you know,
Yeah.
try to yeah, just like straight narrow paths, and you know, don't look too much on the internet for like how you should live your life, you know. And then man, all above, like find good people to get around that's gonna hold you accountable, you know.
Okay.
So, man. Any shout outs?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna shout out my mom for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out my Grammy and Lou Jackson. Any like all my family in South Bend, Indiana for sure. I got two baby mamas, so shout out to Brianna, shout out to Derek. um,
All right.
shout out to my brothers for sure. Who else? Who else? Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it there. And shout out to RP IP Haynes Jr. Dominic Jackson. Yep.
All right.
All right. For sure,
We
man.
appreciate you coming on the show, man. Love to have you back
Again,
on.
yeah.
Everybody that's watching, watching another edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'd like to thank my main man, KJ Kevin Johnson, former Clemson quarterback from 99 to 2002. Also, today's special guest, fitness trainer now, and former Oklahoma wide receiver and college wide receiver, Kameel Jackson. All right. You guys follow him on Instagram. If you're in the area, hit him up. He'll get you worked out. and get you to the next level. All right. You guys know how we end the show every night. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right,
And
man.
until next time, y'all be safe. Peace.
Yeah, solid.
Peace,
Appreciate
man.
y'all, man.
I
No
appreciate you,
problem,
man.
man.
Keep doing big things.